Good morning from Koh Tao. Gorgeous day. If you're ever wondering, do I work out like a crazy woman all the time? I don't. You know, some mornings I feel like it should be a day of recovery. My body's really not feeling like doing that much, but I still like to come out for a walk. And so that's one of these days where it's a recovery day for me. I've got an update for you on my chicken cat. She's not feeling very well at the moment, and so I wanted to update you guys on that, and also talk about protein today, because I know there's a lot of information out there, incorrect information out there, and some correct information out there, and it can be a bit of a minefield. So I wanted to talk about protein today and how protein is affecting my poor chicken cat as well, whose kidneys are on their last legs, unfortunately. So we're spending a bit of time with her today and chilling out on this beautiful recovery day. So I hope you enjoy walking with me on the beach this morning, and just after this I'm going to get myself a massage too. So a little bit windy today on Koh Tao. It's like this in the summer, cloudy. Best weather here is in the winter, I'd say. That's when I enjoy it the most. Summer can be a bit rainy, windy. We get really low tides too, so the ocean's not that great to swim in. But it's still beautiful. The temperature is amazing. Really great for walking on the beaches because there's plenty of beach to walk on as well. So the tides are so low. I like it. So summer on Koh Tao, often cloudy. We do get a little bit of rain, but it never rains kind of all the time. It's just like odd showers. Maybe, I think there was one light shower yesterday, just for a couple of minutes. But it can be cloudy like this, which is kind of nice because the sun's not so hot anymore. I actually prefer winter on Koh Tao here, anywhere in the tropics in fact, because it's like summer anywhere else. You can stay out in it for longer and it's just a little bit cooler, you know. It's still beautiful and warm here. Birds are chirping away. Boat on the beach here. It's just out of the wind here in the corner, so I can talk to you. Anyway, I'm going to walk right to the other end of the beach there, up to North Sairi, so come on with me. though it's a rest day for me, I still like to move my body, you know, get out walking and actually do something. Otherwise, I don't feel so good, you know, when I'm just like lazing about and not moving my body. So walking is just nice and gentle, and yeah, it just makes me feel better, especially walking on this beautiful beach as well. It's nice seeing the dogs and the people, see what's going on, see what's washed up on the beach. This beach is what, if I walk both, like one end to the back, to the other, one end to the other and then back, that's about a 4 kilometre walk, so I guess it's a 2 kilometre beach then. Hey, this island's only like, I think 8 kilometres by 4 kilometres. It's not very big. That's where I get about on my bicycle. Don't need a scooter. You don't need a scooter unless you need to be somewhere fast, like work. But I work from home, you know, so I'm never in a hurry. And anyway, the bicycle is not that much. With legs like mine, powerful legs like mine, it's not that much slower than a scooter. Apart from on the hills. Uphill, I'm slower. Downhill, I'm much faster than scooters. Freewheel and overtake them. So I hope you're enjoying this walk. Let's carry on. So here we are on the other end of Sairee Beach, the north side of Sairee Beach. It's a beautiful walk. You should come and visit sometime. Great place to snorkel as well. And go diving, of course. It's #1 dive place in the world, isn't it? We've got the biggest dive resort in the world, I know that. It's the one that I live in. Some beautiful resorts here as well. I think this being one of them, right on Sairee Beach here. What a gorgeous place to have breakfast once you've woken up in your bungalow, right? So I'm going to walk back now and then go get a massage, so come and join me with that too. See, this guy here is going up the coconut tree with a rope. I don't know if you can see that. He's got a rope attached to his hip with like a machete sharp knife on it. It's already kind of halfway, no, maybe not halfway up the tree, just kind of going up unaided with his strength. How wild's that? Would you do it? I wouldn't. I'm scared of heights, but oh, I'd be sending a monkey up there to get those coconuts down. I would. How scary is that? I ain't be sticking out around down here much longer, because when he cuts them coconuts down, they're gonna be flying. coconut show. There we go. Coconut's pretty dangerous, you know. These coconut trees on the beach. Did you know the coconuts that grow near the beach, they've got a more acidic kind of a flavour. If you've ever had a coconut, a fresh coconut, and it tastes a little bit acidic, like a little bit fizzy, a little bit tart, then that's one that's grown by the beach. When they're further inland and the coconut grows, it doesn't have to be that far away from the beach, they taste much sweeter. So there you go, a little fun fact about coconuts there. Taking the coconut to the restaurant. Time to walk on, I think. It might take some time for him to do that. Paradise massage. Where'd you go? Where'd you go?
Đi mà đây.
Thai massage. So I just finished my massage, 2-hour massage, so relaxing there on the beach. I really needed it. My muscles so tight at the moment. So now back home, I've got to collect a parcel. The delivery guy's just going to meet me as soon as I get back home because I've got to pay for something. And then we'll go get chicken cat. Hi, kitty. Tiki! Tiki! Hey, sweetheart! Hey, Puddin'! You want to come, darling? Yeah? Okay. Come on, sweetie. Come on, puppet. Yeah, come on. Come on. Good girl. Hello, my darling. Sorry it's late. I had to go for a massage, sweetie. Let's pop you in there and then I'll take you to the room. I know you don't like it, but there you go. It is what it is, Tix. It is what it is. Come on, no trouble. Hi, kitty. She doesn't like you. Here we go. Welcome home, Tiki. Come on. How'd you get? You coming? Yeah, sweetie. So giving her medicine now. She absolutely loves this stuff. It's for her blood, but I need to put her medication on it so that she eats that. There you go, pop it. Pop it. Eat. She absolutely adores this stuff. It's vitamins and everything that help her blood. And she needs to stay in here with me. She goes to the vet every couple of days for them to check her out. But she seems to be doing much better now on this vet food and her medication and everything. She's perked up a little bit too. She's got a little bit more strength. So sad. I mean, it is her end days kind of thing, which is so sad. But it's kind of nice to have some time with her, knowing that perhaps she's only got a few weeks or a few weeks left, I guess, but you know, to make her happy in her last times here, and for me to get used to it as well, the fact that she's not going to be here forever. It's so sad. So as I was saying, this one chicken cat who's been with me for about 6 or 7 years now, since she was a kitten. She's owned by the people that live here, Thai people that live here, and they've got a lot of cats. She doesn't like being around other cats. She always tended to hang out more in the resort rather than round by the offices and where that couple live. She kind of found me when I first moved here when she was a kitten and hangs out with me a lot of the time. So I've always kind of thought of her as mine. Whenever they want to kind of find her, they always come and check whether she's here first, because she usually is. And so she spends most of her time with me, hey. So she got sick. She about 8 months ago, a year ago, I think it was, and she was really sick, like really sick. Her legs weren't holding her up anymore, and they took her to the vet, and the vet didn't know what was wrong with her. Put her on a drip, were feeding her and stuff, and they didn't have a clue what was up with her. But she recovered from that, and she recovered really well. So we thought her kidneys were obviously damaged, because she started getting really thin a few weeks ago. Unfortunately, they said she's had like a week left to live when she first went in. So not good. Her kidneys are packing in. She had about 20% kidney function left. And so I had been feeding her high protein, because that's what cats are supposed to eat, right? So to try and feed her up, to try and help her out and get her strength back. And she didn't much want to eat, but if I gave her like raw chicken and tuna straight out of the can, then she was really happy. But she was still going downhill. Anyway, wrong thing to do, obviously, and the vet said, no, don't give her that. You just need to give her this special food now that is for cats that have got kidney failure, which is a low protein food, right? Because when you've got kidney disease or your kidneys are packing up, they can't handle protein anymore. Now, talking about people, some people have kind of deduced from that, because if you've got kidney disease, your kidneys can't handle high protein anymore, that protein causes damage to your kidneys, and that's not true. That's like saying, oh, well, rubbing salt into a wound really hurts it, so salt causes wounds. No, it's got nothing to do with it. If you've heard that like high protein can damage your kidneys, it's just not true. It's just someone put 2 and 2 together and kind of made, 244 or something. About protein, you might have heard other stories too, that high protein is not good for longevity, but there's no evidence for that at all in human beings. There is in mice, but mice have a different diet than us. Evidence that we actually see in human beings is that most people are losing muscle from the age of 40 onwards, and you kind of go in this decline and you get frailer and frailer unless you do something about it, unless you're lifting heavy things. But it's not just about lifting heavy things, because you need to have the protein too, the protein intake to be able to repair those muscles so that they do grow. So there's growth factors, you see, in protein. It's what we give our bodies to repair. We don't use protein as a fuel, not unless we're only eating protein, no carbs or fat, will our body then go about this laborious process to start converting that protein to fuel. The protein that we eat is purely for reconstructing our bodies, fixing the tissues, that kind of thing. It's what we're made of. And so it's really important that you get a lot of it, especially as you're aging. We should be eating more and more. It has got something to do with longevity, because the more you eat, the better you're going to be. The more you'll keep your muscle, and you really need to do that for longevity. So there's 2 things that are not good for longevity in human beings. Frailty is one of them. We lose bone mass, we lose muscle mass, and become very frail, and then prone to breaking when we fall over. After age 60, then the chances of you dying within that year after that fall are just massive, and it's because of this frailty. The other thing apart from frailty, like losing muscle mass, is obesity. There's a reason that you don't see old obese people around, and it's because you die very early when you are obese. So neither is good, and unfortunately in the kind of diet culture that we've had, there has been this thin or fat and a disregard to muscle mass. So you're either big or small. And we see this in like body mass index. It doesn't take into account your actual composition, because you can be big and heavy, but it can be all muscle, or you can be big and heavy and it's all fat. If you're using your information of like your height and your weight, it presumes that that weight is fat, because it's kind of true for the majority of people. It never takes into account that it could be muscle, right? And so one thing that happens is when people try and be thin and think that thin is better than fat, it's only kind of half the story. So your fat mass is kind of important. It's good not to have a lot of that, but it's more important to have more muscle. The majority of people are kind of yo-yo dieting. Now, yo-yo dieting is the worst for muscle mass, because whenever you lose weight, you'll be losing fat and you'll be losing muscle. And then when you start eating again, you're not packing on the muscle, you're packing on the fat. And in every time you diet, your muscle goes down and down and down, unless you're doing something about it, right? Which means lifting weights and also eating high protein. So how much protein should we be eating? Well, that's a really good question. Now, a lot of the scientists are talking about how many grams of protein you should have a day per kilogram or per pound of body weight that you are. But as I've just said, your body weight can be comprised of like a lot of fat, or it can be comprised of a lot of muscle. So it doesn't make much sense. So it'd be your target body weight or your lean body weight kind of thing. And that kind of makes more sense. But what makes more sense to me, and I have heard from one scientist this, is it just goes off your height. So your height in centimeters, I'm 160 or 162, something like that, and eat that amount of grams in protein, which is what I'm doing now. I eat about 160, probably between about 140 to 160, 170 grams of protein each day. And so that is the ideal. Now, you might have heard, oh no, you shouldn't eat more than, I don't know, 0.8 or something like that grams per, what would that be, pound or kilogram? I don't know. It's very low though. That's like the bottom limit. That's to avoid real problems for being under proteined. It's certainly not the best. And I know that in myself, because I'm in tune with my body and doing a lot of exercise, of course. If I don't have enough protein, even if I've only had like 120 grams of protein, I can feel it. My muscles don't repair themselves properly. You get the aches, and your body kind of feels tired. There's a tiredness in it, like it's not got what it needs to recover properly. And so the other great thing about protein, apart from it allowing you to recover properly from the exercise that you're doing, allowing you to build muscle as well, especially as you're aging, so important. So you can put on muscle. I'm proof of that. You can put on muscle as you're aging. 52 now, and I'm still putting on muscle. Yeah, the other thing about protein is it's very satiating. So we tend to eat until we've had enough protein, because our bodies, that's what our bodies are asking for. Sure, they're asking for fuel too, which can be fats or carbohydrates, but we feel full once we've had enough protein. Now, a lot of processed foods and popular foods are just full of fat and carbohydrate. That mixed together, fat and carbohydrate, are very moreish. You want more of it. Once you've eaten it, you're kind of craving more of it. It will stack the weight on, because it's just pure energy. Fat and carbohydrate is just pure energy, and so it's going to convert to fat very fast. But nowhere in nature will you find these two combinations together. And it doesn't just have to be processed food either. You could make like potato gratin, right? So potatoes with cream and cheese all together. That's not processed food, right? But that is carbohydrates and high fats both together. It's very moreish. My friend makes that here on the island, and you just want more and more of it. You can't help it when you eat stuff like that. You want more and more of it, and perhaps an hour after you've eaten it, you'll want to eat again. You'll be craving some carbohydrates or fats kind of stuff. So a lot of like junk food is that moreish kind of carbohydrate fat combo. And that's never going to fill you up, because it doesn't have the protein. It might have tiny amounts of protein. And a lot of the vegan and vegetarian foods can be that too. Very high carbohydrate especially, but with that fat mix. So processed foods those ones that are moreish, those ones that you want to get more and more of, is because of that combination, and that just makes you fat, and it does absolutely nothing for your muscle. So no good for you at all. So with my diet, I have a high protein breakfast, so those overnight oats. If you want to find out how to make those, I'll pop a link for that video up there. And so that's got about 50 grams of protein in that for breakfast. It's also got carbohydrates too. It's got some good fats as well, with chia seeds and flax seeds and sunflower seeds in there too. And so that's for breakfast, and then I'll have perhaps an apple for a snack in the morning, and then my lunch will be like a chicken wrap or an omelette or something like that, again high protein. After that I'll have yogurt, then I will put like half a scoop of vanilla protein powder in there, mix that all up together, and chop up some fruit, maybe kiwis or pineapple or blueberries, strawberries, that kind of thing, and eat it with yogurt just after my lunch. That'll be about another 50 grams of protein. So what am I up to there? I'm up to 110, so I need much more than that. My evening meal needs to be high protein too, to get my 162 grams of protein in. And so say if I have chopped up chicken with some high protein pasta, that will do it. So red lentil pasta, that will get me there. But you can see, like, you've got to think about protein with every meal in order to get the right amount. I'm pretty short at 162 centimeters. That is 5'4". I'm pretty short. And so, yeah, you need a lot. You need a lot of protein, and more as you age as well. And you'll feel much better for it. You'll be more satiated for it. I've got to think about the protein that I have. So like evening meals, I usually have fish for my evening meals to get those really good fats in for my health, so salmon or tuna. If my meals haven't reached the right amount of protein, if I'm sitting at 130 or 140 grams by the end of the day, because I'm logging it all on my fitness pal so that I know, then I'll have a protein shake before bed as well, so that my body's definitely got what it needs to repair itself overnight. So don't be afraid of protein. Eat more of it, especially as you're aging. Look into the science of it all as well, and try and find like the source of all of these things that people are saying, these kind of theories that people are saying, and you'll find that, yeah, it's a very good thing to eat a lot of protein. Protein, of course, is the most expensive part of our diet too, and so if you are centering your diet on protein for each meal, you'll be eating less for sure, because it is very satiating. If you are watching your weight, if you're trying to lose weight, then you don't want to be having too many fats. Or if you do have a lot of fats, you just be needing to eat less carbohydrates there. Carbohydrates, not really required. There's no essential carbohydrates. We do have essential fats, so you do need to eat fat. Our bodies do use fat, like it uses protein to actually build our bodies. So, you know, cell membranes and stuff like that are made of fat. So you do need fat, but you don't need carbohydrates. I say you don't need carbohydrates because your body doesn't actually need carbohydrates for fuel, but you might want to eat them anyway, a small amount. I eat 85% chocolate, and if I go any lower than that, say if there's a discount sale on some chocolate that's got more sugar in it than that, you know, like a 70% chocolate, or even less, a 60% chocolate, but maybe that's got orange bits in it. I love the taste of those things, but if I get those lower, those ones with more sugar in it, I cannot stop myself from eating it over and over and over again. I'll get one piece out of the fridge, and, you know, 10 minutes later I'm going and get another piece, and 10 minutes after that I'll get another piece, until it's all gone, until the whole thing's gone. Now with the 85%, I don't have that same reaction. I don't have that same sugar reaction that gets you craving even more of it. I'll have one piece of that 85% chocolate, and that'll be it. I don't crave any more of it. So just be careful about what it is that you're eating. Eat more protein, and then you'll find like your carbohydrates can be just like your natural carbohydrates, like potatoes, vegetables, like starchy vegetables. And I have like a little bit of bread. I'll have my wraps. I'll have a wrap each day, but not too much bread. There's a place here on the island that makes amazing sandwiches. I mean, they taste awesome, but it's because it's got like high carbohydrate and high fat. It tastes great, but it's absolutely packed full of calories, and then you find that it hasn't even filled you up, even if it's got a lot of protein, and hasn't even filled you up, because an hour or an hour and a half later you'll want to eat again. And that's the trouble with these fats and carbs together. High fat and carb food, it's way too much energy, and it doesn't even satiate you. So eat some more protein and let your body heal. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for the rest of the day. Chicken Cat's just having some food there. Because she was in the cage all morning, I feel kind of bad about going out. So I don't think I want to go to CrossFit this afternoon anyway. I'll give my body a break. I might do a bit of stretching in here. I'll do a bit of video editing as well. I've got a couple of private reads in. If you don't know, I'm also a tarot reader. I've got a tarot reading channel called Be Healing, B-E Healing. Check that out if you're into tarot. And people do get private readings with me. So I've got a couple of those to do. I'll do that this afternoon. And then I might watch a movie all about diet and stuff like that, because I love finding these things out. Now, if you've got any worries, because I know it is worrying about diet, about eating protein and fats and stuff like that, it can get really scary, because you see the headlines and you're like, oh no, I can't do that, it's going to be bad for me, and it is really scary. So if you've got any worries about what I've said, like, but isn't it true that this is bad for you, or isn't it true that it could do this, put them down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to try and find the sources of the information that I've got, so that you can kind of dig deeper. Because I know when there's all of these headlines and it makes you really fear about what you're eating, and like increasing protein, when we're scared like that, we don't know who to believe, right? And it helps to have confirmation of the fact, to put your mind at rest. I do a lot of research all the time. One, scientists are still learning. It's the nature of science that we learn more and more as we go along, and theories sometimes take hold, but they've never been proved. And we've seen a lot of that going about, especially around diet too, because it's so hard to prove. We can't put human beings in a cage for long periods of time, for like years and years, to prove these things. If you do have those worries, then just let me know in the comments below, and let me know what else you'd like to hear about as well, and I'll make those videos for you.